right. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Mashpaka. Praises to the Most High. AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bashem, Yasha, Mashiach, Qadash, Chakamawath. Mashpaka means family. Mashiach is Christ for all you people in the world that don't know that's the Messiah, Hebrew, so we call him Mashiach, but for the sake of purpose of the teaching, we stick with what we pretty much all know we've all grew up to know is Christ. We give him all praise and glory on this blessed Shabbat. To be able for us to, have one more day of breath to bring forth understanding and, based on certain aspects of Scripture. As always, us with Service of Scattered Sheep, which is just brothers that, come together in agreement, and, we cater to the scattered sheep with servants. None of us are exalted. None of us, hold any titles. We're just brothers that love one another and just do the Most High's work and will, and come together when so and labor in the work is, whatever the Most High put in our spirit. We always encourage, the men out there. The Bible tells us to study to show thyself approved. So, anything we bring forth, we just, encourage one another to go out there, check the Scriptures out. Don't take anything that you learn here or you heard here in a lesson, and just take it all for face value. Make sure you study to show thyself approved, because at the end of the day, we all got to stand before the Father. So you can't look at another brother and say, hey, this is what this dude taught me, and then you can sit there and open the Scriptures yourself and stuff. So anything, and if anything that we bring out, and if the Most High put it on your spirit, to even bring a deeper understanding that the brethren needs to know, because we're not about being the authority, only authority of the word. We're just trying to get the word out, and and hopefully you can do it with one another. With that being said, today's lesson is Jacob's trouble. 2 Maccabees chapter 7. Last time we were on, we did 2 Maccabees chapter 6. So we just follow them up and give them more further education. So this is the next, part of that lesson that we did, just to, in the mindset and understanding of, what happened in the past and where we're at then, and then where we're going to meet up in the future. So we always got to understand these things in the past are coming in the future, and we want to make sure that we shed a light on the mindset of the people who are governing us, and the mindset of our ancient forefathers, and so we can encourage our brothers and sisters, to take on that same spirit that our ancient forefathers did when they actually did the right thing according to the Most High Spirit. So, with that being said, we're going to get into it. So, for all those that don't know about the 2 Maccabees, in the Apocrypha books, this is the 14 books that was taken out of the Bible. Okay, those are movies, and I can tell you the reason why these movies got a lot of good edification in these books. Okay, it's also contained in the original 1611 Bible, and the Bibles there like it and stuff. It's already in there. You don't have to get this, but we get this separate so we can show brothers and sisters. If you just want to maintain your old Bibles, just grab the Apocrypha books and read and see certain things in there, and it'll help you out a great deal if you're seeking truth and knowledge and understanding, and some of that hidden knowledge that's out there. So with that being said, get into the lesson. So Jacob's trouble, 2 Maccabees chapter 7, follow up from last time, which was God required what is past, 2 Maccabees chapter 6. So we go to the 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 1. Just going to start off, just rolling these scriptures with the mindset of where we were at back then and where we need to be, and what the mindset of our oppressors and enemies and the spirits that's against us as the children of Israel, knowing that we are the judges of the earth, and we're in the center of this universe, and all focuses on us because we have a spiritual job to do, which is rid this earth and world of all the evil, that's been placed in it based on the fall in the garden. So that being said, 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 1.
This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments by my manservants, the prophets, whom they would not hear, but despised my counsels. The mother that bare them saith unto them, Go away, ye children, for I am a widow and forsaken. I brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you. For ye have sinned before the Lord your power, done that thing which is evil before him. But what shall I do now unto you? I am a widow and forsaken. Go your way, my children, O my children, and ask mercy of the Lord. As for me, O Father, I call upon thee for a witness over the mother of these children, which will not keep my covenant, that thou bring them to confusion and their mother to spoil, that there may be no more offspring of them. Let them be scattered abroad the heathen, that their names may be put out of the earth.
Yes, scattered abroad among the heathen.
Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. Woe unto thee, sword, thou that hittest the righteous in thee. O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah, whose land lieth in clouds of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, saith the Almighty Lord.
All right, so go to Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. So that's scripture just showing you right there. He's just explaining to you why the whole plot in just those 9 verses. What he did for us and why we ended up here in the place that we're at now, which is the lands of Babylon and captivity and stuff. So he's just laying out to you right now that whole little section, and why when we get into what we're about to read, why this exists. Because it was a part of part of the agreement of the contract of the covenant. We keep the commandments, we stay blessed, and we're exalted above all nations, bringing forth his laws in the light to the world, or we're going to be accursed. We have to deal with these kind of things that we're about to go into right now. So that being said, just remember, as these things are happening to us, it's the Lord that's bringing these evils upon us because we broke the covenant. Okay, so he's working through man, but the Most High is doing it because this is part of the agreement. This is what we're going to be dealing with. All the curses even some of the curses that haven't even been mentioned in the book. All right, so with that being said, 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1.
Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and controlled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
All right, so we're going to go into Judith chapter 5, verse 16. So, right there, he's saying that, the king was taking the people and he says, I'm going to do things that's against the law, their laws. And you just got to say to yourself, mind you, because I know in these lands of Babylon, they programmed us in our minds that we're free of religion, free of this, free of that, and when we're actually in more bondage than you realize. So actually, we're in more bondage now than we ever were when we were on the actual slave quarters plantation back in the day when we were actually in shackles and chains. We're in more slavery now because we actually think we're free and stuff. And we're free to do religion, but they gave us a false religion. So As long as we're following these false religions, yeah, we got the freedom to follow all these false religions, but it's a problem once you come back to the God of Israel and follow the true nature of our higher power and stuff. So he's just showing him this is the time of the Greek Empire, and he's telling them to eat swine flesh against the law of the Most High. So why would somebody say, you know what, I want you to come before me and eat swine flesh? All right? You know, what's it to you what I eat? Whose business are you? Yours. You know, this is the same things that this nation does. You go into the hospitals, they're talking about putting vaccines in your body, in your temple. You know what I mean? What for? That's you bound down to their God and to their system, things of that nature. You know, that's more of a lightweight, but this is a direct challenge to God's laws, and you stand it for God's laws because you know it's written about, you know, eating swine's flesh, and he's going to tell you, I want you right now before me to denounce your God, and that's basically what he was saying. You know, okay? So, you know, just putting that out there. So Judith chapter 5, verse 16. And you're going to see why these nations do what they do. Go ahead.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 16. And they cast forth before them and the Canaanite, the Parasite, the Parasite, Jebusite, and the Shechemite, and all the Gergesites, and they dwelt in the country many days. And while they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that had the God that hateth iniquity, is that what it says?
Iniquity.
Oh, it's spelled weird. The God that hateth iniquity was with them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 18, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they destroyed and made battles very sore, and were led away and were led captive into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground. Their cities were taken by the enemies. But now, while they return to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, where it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But there be no iniquity in their nation, my Lord, now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
All right, so Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. So this is why the other nations do what they do. Okay? You know, they get us to constantly sin before the Most High, you know, and just so the Most High is constantly warring with his people. Okay, so now in these days right now, a lot of things that they got us doing that's going against the Most High is subtle stuff in our ignorance. But it's going to come a time, you know, they're going to wrap it up, and that, you know, them sitting there talking about, y'all eat this swine flesh before the king, right? To show that you are bound down to the God of this that is operating in this world right now is the precursor for the mark of the beast. You know, bow down to my image. You know, denounce your God right now, and knowing that our God tells us very, very clearly we ain't supposed to bow down to any other gods and stuff like that. So they know what they're doing. They know once you do that, the God is the God of Israel is not defending us no more. Actually, he's against us, and it opens us wide up to be destroyed, not only physically but spiritually as well. So, you know, this is that battle, and it's coming. It's here already. Actually, it's here already, but it's going to ramp up to the point where they're going to have you sin. They're going to try to make you sin before the Most High, and you know you're sinning before the Most High. See, they got you in practice doing it in your ignorance, but they're going to do it in a manner to where you know you are going about to sin, and you got a choice to make. Okay. This is what's coming. So everybody that's believing all that's the past is old and everything's been fulfilled and all this other stuff, you keep thinking that when that comes. Okay? And if you're listening to your pastor or whoever that's not is telling you that all these different records are no good and this and that, and you're going to believe that when that time comes and you have not built your spirit up to be ready to die for this law or stand for this law no matter what, it's going to be a very hard hard decision at that point. Because a lot of times what it is either you do what they say or you die. What's your choice? Who's going to be strong enough in the spirit to do it? So we're going to see moving forward. So Isaiah 66:15. Go ahead.
Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Mm-hmm.
For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh,
mm-hmm.
and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Mm-hmm.
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord.
Shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. Deuteronomy 14:8. So he's telling you, right there, you saw in the Maccabees, the king trying to get them to eat swine's flesh. Why are they trying to get you to eat swine's flesh? So your Lord can destroy you. Just simple. That was the purpose of him having them do that. Just so your God can destroy you. So there's your choice. There's your choice. You got a choice. You know, you put good and evil before you. Choose good. All right. Deuteronomy 14:8.
Deuteronomy chapter 14:8. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch the dead carcass.
All right, Malachi 3:6. So, you know, that's clear. You know, that's a commandment that he gave us. We are not supposed to touch that filthy beast and animal. Of course, we know for the most part they putting little pork products everywhere out there. So anything that you eat of there, that's some kind of abomination if you're into, you know, their little packaged foods and whatever. But you know, that's to get your spirit and your body just constantly used to consuming that abomination. So you're constantly defiling yourself before the Most High and stuff, you know. And he's telling you right there, you know, that's a law. Don't do it. So you guys in the Christian world that think all you have to do is pray over that pig and it's all good, well, you got another thing coming because he's going to consume those in the wilderness who partakes of that abomination.
We're not even supposed to touch your dead flesh.
We're not even supposed to touch it. There you go. Go ahead.
No, we just at the supermarket, man. By accident, I touched it.
Yeah, man, bro. You know, the old footballs, right? You know, football's a popular sport, and they used to be pigskin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you ain't even supposed to touch none of that stuff, and they do things like that. Purposely. So they know, you know, it's like kryptonite. Right. That's what the Superman movie is about. That's kryptonite. You know, that stuff touch you, you right off the bat got the Most High ready to take you out, and they know it. And let alone putting it inside your vessel. All right? So Malachi 3:6.
Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
So he's telling you right there. So you sons of Jacob is not consumed. Some pastors are telling you, we're going to go back to Maccabees 7:1, get that page again. So we're going to reread that. So some pastors think, oh, that was the old law, that was this, that was that. It's okay to eat it now because of that one dream that Peter had or whatever. You know what I mean? God's telling you right here, he changed not. He told you not to eat pig. Don't eat pig. Don't even touch his, you know, his carcass. You know? Don't even touch his carcass. Just so you won't be consumed, because when that time comes, and I know those times are going to come, because the mark of the beast is all about trying to starve you out into submission, into receiving the mark. You know, people are going to be hungry and desperate. And they're going to have children that's hungry and desperate. You know what I mean? And if you thinking you're going to justify in your mind that you can eat pork, you know, oh, but God knows my heart. He, you know, he knows I'm starving. He ain't going to want me to just starve out here. You know, justify in your mind that, you know, it's okay when the Most High is telling you in the scriptures, he that believes in me, as the scriptures have said, don't even touch his carcass. So if you can't even touch it, why would you eat it? All right? So anyway, going back to Maccabees 7:1, reread that.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
Tormented with scourges and whips, because they obviously wasn't bound down to it. Okay? Go to verse 2.
Verse 2. All right, that's what I was looking. Second Maccabees 7:2. But one of them spake first and said thus, What wouldst thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than transgress the laws of our fathers.
All right, Revelations 2:10. So these guys are right off the bat. You know, they're in the spirit and the mindset, you know. It will take death before we eat this abomination. This is just eating pork. Think about that. Just to put the pork inside your mouth. And I know they've conditioned us to eat it and all that stuff over the time when we were in our ignorance. But now it's going to be a matter of life and death. We're ready to die and stuff. So we got to build our spirit to be, you know, face that reality, because that's what's coming down the pipe. This is why the nations do what they do. That's why you have that abomination all over it. So if this is such a Christian nation, this is a nation under God, why do they have pork everywhere and pig? They almost took the cow just about dang near out of circulation, and you got pig everywhere. You know, there's no disease within the pigs, they say, but man, you get mad at cow disease, you gotta watch that, you know, that cow, but that's the ones that's lawful to eat. So all right, so Revelations 2:10. Just know that this is where we're going right now. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Here come those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
All right, Revelations 3:10. You know, he's saying that, you know, but this is all by way of the fallen one. And he says, be faithful unto death. So this is what you're seeing when one of the sons of Maccabees stepped up and said, we're ready to die before we eat your abomination. All right? And it's strong, you know, like I said, we got to get our spirit strong enough, ready to take this on. And he said, so we got to be faithful unto death so we can get our crown of life. So Revelation 3:10.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast to that which thou hast, that no man may take thy crown.
Yeah, so this is an instance back to 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 3. This is an incident where this king was just putting the Maccabees, you know, putting his son in the position of, you know, them taking his crown. You know, accept the mark of the beast, accept this vomit. Just taste it, man. You know, you can repent later. Just take it now. You can repent later. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. All right, this is what's coming back in the future. It may not in this exact form, but the exact way, but in this exact form. Okay, we know it's going to come in the form of the mark of the beast itself, let alone somebody putting some pig before you. All right. So, 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 3.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 3. Then the king, being enraged, commanded hands and cauldrons to be made hot.
All right, so hold that. Go to Psalms 119 and 114. All right, so he's put before them, okay, this is your fate. You know, now he's putting the cauldrons, hot cauldrons before them, knowing that they're going to throw their body in there or something like, you know, to that effect to get burned up. So to put that fear, put that spirit and fear of them so they can think twice whether they're going to follow the Most High's laws or they're going to, follow what the king is telling them to do. Okay? All right, Psalms 114.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 114. Thou art my hiding place, in my shield. I hope in thy word. I hope in thy word.
Mm-hmm.
Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according unto thy word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope.
First Peter 5:8. So that's that's David, King David, telling you, and it still ties back into the story how this man was standing up, telling them we're ready to die. You're not going to make me depart from the commandments. I already know what's going on, so no. What are you going to do? You going to kill me? Well, do what you got to do. But I'm staying fast to call. I'm not going to be ashamed. What I understand is going to come later if I be faithful unto death. Okay? So that's what David's talking about right here against the evildoers. Because anybody that's trying to get you to eat pork or die, that's evil. That's just waking yourself. Just think about it in your ignorance of thinking that you're in a free state of mind and somebody coming at you like that. Okay? First Peter 5:8. Even the Most High don't force you anything. You got a choice. You know what I mean? He give you a lot of choices of foods of partaking, and there's certain things in His feast that He wants people to take in as far as a memorial of the things that He's done for us. Well, however, He doesn't force us to do anything. And that's not force. You still got a choice. You know what I mean? But you want to show your love for the Most High by participating in things that He set for us as celebration. All right, 1 Peter 5:8.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be diligent, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist steadfast in faith, knowing that the same afflictions, that's verse 9. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. But the God of all grace, who have called us unto His eternal glory by Christ, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you. To Him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
All right, back to 2 Maccabees 7:4. So, the fallen ones seeking this earth, roaring like the lion, seeing all the ones they're going to be running around like madmen trying to find anybody of Israel that's trying to keep the laws and stuff. And He says, hey, we're going to suffer this for a little time, but, just rest believe, we stay faithful unto death. We're going to be dealing with the dominion of Christ, which we will be rolling under, okay, as Israelites. All right, back to Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 4.
Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 4. Which forthwith being hated, He commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body. The uttermost.
Right.
The utmost part of his body. And the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
Doesn't this look kind of familiar? Back in slavery, where they used to rip our sisters' stomachs open in front of everybody so they can see, and then boot stomp the baby or feed the baby to alligators so everybody could see, so they could, instead of fearing the God that's in the heavens, that we can sit there and fear the men that's right before us that can do immediate swift destruction to us. Doesn't that look familiar? Same spirit, same people, doing it to the same people that they did it to back in this day. Same concept. Making sure you're seeing and watching what's going on when it's actually taking you out. So by the time you get to the second, the third, fourth, the fifth person, you're so scared that you're going to bow down. That's the same, and the Bible says no new thing under the sun. They did that during slavery. Same exact people, same exact concept. Okay? You going to say something? Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Now when he, I just wanted to, I was just talking about the utmost parts of his body. So what does the utmost mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, just, like, the parts of your body that you just, why would you do that? You know?
Yeah.
So basically parts that you're pretty much, man, you cut any other part but that one.
Yeah, exactly. You naming them. They're, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, you saw Roots and stuff when Kunta Kinte had a choice between his foot and another part of his body. You know what I'm saying? He chose his foot. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. No new thing under the sun. Same people, same spirit. You know, who say we ain't the children of Israel? Okay, and especially if they're in the spiritual world, you know, they're probably trying to they're upholding the system as long as they can. So we'll be deceived. But go ahead.
Verse 5. Now when he was thus made, in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, and to be fried in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, the Lord God looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us. As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
All right, Revelations 20:4. So you start with that. Go back to slavery. Go back to slavery in this town. The same people who brought us here are the same people ruling today. Okay? And the fallen one's kingdom is falling. Same mentality. It has not changed. Okay, so he's giving you an idea in the Maccabees what mentality these people have. Now, we know this was the Grecian Empire, but they're still from the same stock of Esau. Same spirit. Okay? And look at what's still, and plus they operate with the spirit of the fallen one, too, as their king. Okay? So let's go, Revelations 20:4.
But he answered in his own language.
Revelations 20:4?
I'm sorry, Revelations 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yasha, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
All right, Maccabees, back to Maccabees chapter 7, verse 8. So, yeah, this is the reward that comes, you know, with, you know, and, hey, this is what we got signed up for. You know, Israel, hey, so we didn't have to go through all this if we would have kept the commandments in the land. You know, we was in total safety and refuge under the Father's Spirit, but now we got to get our spirits ready because this is right around the corner. The mark of the beast is already in the earth. We've already been conditioned and trained to take in an abomination in every corner of facet of life. That's why he says, "Come out of my people, so ye not partaking of sins and receive not of her plagues." Because this whole place is just one big sin cesspool that's keeping the Father. You know, you're not receiving the full power that the Most High has for us, so we can tap into that next spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because everything around us is an abomination. And that was purposely done. Okay? But if you're out there and you want to hang on and say, oh, we're all the same and God loves everybody the same, and you want to stay in that mindset and trust your enemy, you go right ahead. Okay? But just be warned that the same people that we're speaking about in these scriptures, they are the children Just like we're the children of Israel, they are the children of the people that has done this to us in the past, and who had done this to us in recent past of slavery as well. No new thing under the sun. God requires with his past. Constantly over and over and over again. The same thing is going. Nothing's changed. If I'm the Lord thy power, I change not. So you can recognize what's coming because he says he doesn't change. They're not going to do things another way. They're going to do it the very same way that they read it, that is written in Scripture. So once you read the Scriptures, you know what's coming. All right. Go ahead. Maccabees 7 and 8.
Maccabees.
Second Maccabees, Slakia.
Second Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, No, wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury, takest us out of this present. Take us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his loss, unto everlasting life.
These guys are taking their death like a champion. Now we're going to this. If you have the essentials of Isaiah, I would pull that out. I forgot I was into this book as well. And if you don't, you can pull it up on PDF. The ascension of Isaiah, okay, of chapter 5. But, yeah, these guys right there, it's like, these guys are coming. It's like, all right, you about to take me out. Well, take me out because I'm not going to go against my God, so let's go. Because I already know where this is going to end up in the end anyway, so let's do it. We got to, there's a lot to it. Then, there's a talk in this walk and there's an actual walk aspect of this walk. What part are you participating in? Are you in the talk or are you in the walk or are you doing both? Okay? But if you ain't out there in the trenches, there's a lot of things within this work that's going to help you build the courage and the refuge to know that the Most High even got you into death. He has you even into death. It takes a lot of courage and understanding. But if you ain't walking it, how are you going to know it when that time comes? Everybody thinks they're just all of a sudden, out of a sudden, get courage out of nowhere and say, I'm going to take this death instead of. I'm not going to say it can't happen, but I'm not trusting in that way. You got to constantly just start killing this flesh ourselves before they get a chance to do it. So once we killed it to gain their death, then there's not left for them to kill. It's just a formality at that point. Okay? So with that being said, he's showing you all their little tortures. We're going to go to the extension of Isaiah. We're going to show you how Isaiah died. The prophet Isaiah, which you don't see in the writings of Isaiah, but this is going to show you how he actually died and stuff by the hands of this spiritual world that we're dealing with right now. So going into the extension of Isaiah chapter 5.
Extension of Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. On account of these visions, therefore, Eliah was wroth with Isaiah.
Yeah, doesn't that sound familiar? Revelations 12 and 17. The dragon was wroth with the woman who kept the commandments and had the testimony of Yasha. All right, it's the same thing you're hearing here. He's talking about that name we just read because that's representative of the fallen one. All right, read that again from the beginning.
And when Isaiah was verse 1. On account of these visions, therefore, Eliah was wroth with Isaiah, and he dwelt in the heart of Manasseh. And he sawed him in sunder with a wooden saw.
Sawed him in sunder with the wooden saw, but keep going.
And when Isaiah was being sawed in sunder, how do you pronounce that?
Beletier
stood up, accusing him, and all the false prophets stood up, laughing and rejoicing because of Isaiah. And Beletier, with the aid of Maccabees, stood up before Isaiah, laughing and writing. Melchizedek said to Isaiah, say, I have lied in all that I have spoken, and likewise the ways of Manasseh are good and right. And the ways also of Melchizedek and of his associates are good. And this he said unto him when he began to saw and sunder. I mean, when he began to be saw and sunder. But Isaiah was the Lord, in a vision of the Lord. And though his eyes were open, he saw them not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically saying, like, he was seeing something completely different. Like, he wasn't even there.
Yeah, he was in the spiritual world. His mind and spirit was locked into the spiritual world. The things that was happening in the flesh, he was, it wasn't even happening.
Man, that goes back to that scripture that says, the torment won't touch those that, in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the torment won't feel the torment.
Right. When it looks like it's being tortured in the sight of men, but when you're in the spirit, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. But Isaiah was absorbed in the vision of the Lord. And though his eyes were open, he saw them not. And but let you respect thus to Isaiah. So they think he's speaking to this man. Yeah, he ain't even there.
Yeah, he's not here.
Nope. He's dealing with his body.
Yep.
And but let you respect thus to Isaiah. What I say unto thee, and I will turn by their hearts, and I will compel Manasseh, the princes of Judah, and the people of all Jerusalem to reverence thee.
See, so right. Okay, it's back. So there you go. These guys, trying to make deals and stuff against his soul. It's like, hey, I'll have them stop, and we'll set you up as a good king. All you have to do is just sin against God's law. Now, how many times that people sign contracts in blood just for the wealth of this world, to defile themselves with the fallen one's kingdom? How many people have done that? And you think he's freezing up, huh? It's on me, right? Okay. All right. Lucky for that, man. We had a little technical difficulty with the place, but praise the Most High in the background. Get wrong. So read verse 8 again, please.
Verse 8. And the lecturer spake thus to Isaiah, say what I say unto thee, and I will turn their hearts, and I will compel Manasseh, the princes of Judah, and the people of all Jerusalem to reverence you.
And there's going to be time they're going to try to bribe you. Try to bribe you and try to get you to just, submit, instead of taking, the punishment with a great honor, hey, we'll set you up, and you be rich and all that stuff, That's part of what they did in the past. They've done it over and over again. We're going to show you other examples. But go ahead.
And Isaiah answered and said, so far as I have utterance, I say, damned and accused be thou in all thy powers and all thy house.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of like saying, man, get you, man. Like, you know how Judah really talk, like, when they're going out, that like he kind of like, I don't want to say cursing them out, but is he kind of like being like, bruh, go to hell?
Yeah. You just no way you don't get me to do that. I'm standing bold here. I'm not. You do what you got to do. Just like when they send the brothers to death row, I guess. You know what I'm saying? They're like, whatever, man. Do whatever.
Mm-hmm. And Isaiah answered, verse 9. Isaiah answered and said, so far as I have utterance, I say, damned and accused be thou and all thy powers and all thy house. Bruh, I'm telling you, that's like, how you hear brothers say, man, forget you, forget your mama, forget your, brother, your whole family. I can just tell her that's what he said.
Yeah, it's the same. Well, it's the same mentality. He built us with the same spirit, so we carried it on. We carried it on over here,
Yeah. So verse 10. For thou canst not take from me, save the skin of my body. And they seized and sawed asunder Isaiah, the son of Amos, with a wooden saw. And Manasseh and Melchizedek and the false prophets and the princes and all the people and all stood looking on.
There you go. There you see it again. They always want to do this in front of the people to gender up fear. Who ain't going to listen? This is what your fate is. We're taking them out. Look, who's next? So that's going to care. They're going to try to gender up fear. So when you see people being tortured and dying before your eyes, it's making you think twice of what you're going to do when it's your turn. But go ahead.
It says, 13. And to the prophets who were with him said before he had been sawed asunder, go ye to the region of Tyre and Sidon, for me only have God mingled the cup. And when Isaiah was being sawed asunder, he neither cried out loud nor wept, but his lips spake with the Holy Spirit until he was sawn in twine.
Man, back to Maccabees 7 and 10. So Isaiah was prophesying as he was being sawed. Prophesying. Still bringing forth the word of the Most High as he's being sawed. Didn't feel nothing. Because he was operating totally in the Spirit. His mind, soul, and spirit, and his boldness was all in the Spirit and stuff, as he was being tortured and dying. Didn't feel nothing. That's why we got to build up our spirit, start killing the flesh, and be ready. Whatever time that is for us. We don't know which one's going to be in what position, but, these are possibilities for everybody. We don't know exactly who's going to escape this particular type of persecution, but we all got to be ready because we never know if it's us or not. You know what I mean? So back to the second Maccabees 7 and 10.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 10. After him was the third made mocking, in mocking stock. And when he was required, he put out his tongue and died right soon, holding forth his hands manfully. And said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despise them, and for him I hope to receive them again. So he said, I'll get him back.
Yeah, basically, I'm going through this right now because I despise the laws, but by me standing up and dying for this truth, hopefully I'll get these laws back again, and receive them, and he'll, Most High take that stony heart that we have and give us a new one. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Verse 12, inasmuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he had nothing regarded the pains.
Just like in Isaiah, right? He didn't look like he was in pain. He was just standing there as he was getting tortured, standing in the spirit, boldly for the Most High. And he probably didn't even know that it wasn't going to hurt, but he didn't care. He was just there anyway, going through it. And whatever he's going to do, if it's going to be painful, it's only going to be painful for a short moment. But what's going to happen to you is going to be a lot different than me. So go ahead.
Verse 13. Now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mingled the fourth like in manner. Verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from God, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
Now look, these guys are taking their persecution with good cheer. You say, hey man, it's good to get killed for man, because I have resurrection, but what's going to happen to you? You ain't going to get it. He's actually being a warner during the time of his persecution, right in the middle. So we go to Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 9. That's what you call raw men of the Most High, spiritual men. So this is our time to make sure this word is real to us. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to stand there with no doubt and no fear and look them dead in the eye and let them know that, hey, you doing this to me, it's temporary pain, but for you, it's something different. So you might want to rethink it. This is your last chance to rethink what you're doing. Okay, go ahead. Ezekiel 33:9.
Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 9. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he doeth not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul. Therefore, O Son of Man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, we will be paying away in them. How should we live thereon?
All right, but this particular thing is talking to the house of Israel, but the concept transcends because we just read in Maccabees where he's talking to the other nations and basically saying, hey, you're warning them, straightforward. Hey, look what you're doing. You may kill my body for a moment, but your soul is going to hell, basically, without saying it exactly like that. So go ahead.
Verse 11. Say to them, as Hallelujah said, thus the Lord, I have no pleasure in death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will ye die, O house of Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, so the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth.
All right, 2 Timothy 1 and 7. So what I was drawing from that is, that your wickedness is basically what you're going to get judged on and stuff, And as long as you're in that transgression, it's not going to happen. So you got to turn from that. But with that being said, dealing with the other nations, or dealing with the ones that's going to be involved in this torture and stuff, you got to let them know. You got to let them know, even under death. Do you have a question? Okay, so first, 2 Timothy 1 and 7.
2 Timothy 1 and 7. For the Most High have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. And of a sound mind. Be not, therefore, ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me, his prisoner. But be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High.
Okay, back to Maccabees 7 and 15. He said he didn't give us a spirit of fear and be partakers of the afflictions of the gospel. So, hey, we got to be ready to participate. You know what? This happened to our ancient forefathers. You know what I'm saying? We will be, hey, I would, participate in afflictions. So when your afflictions come upon you, just realize you're being a participator in the afflictions of our ancient forefathers that had to deal with the fall of Israel and Yasha himself. Okay? And don't have the spirit of fear. Only for the fear of the Most High. Don't be fearing the people before you. But go ahead, verse 15.
Verse 15. Afterward, they brought the fifth also, and mangled him.
Mm-hmm.
Then looked he unto the king and said, Thou power over men. Thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt. Ye think not that our nation is forsaken of the Most High.
All right, Isaiah 62 and 10. So these people are thinking, oh, we just could do, we could just do that. Their God's forsaken them, and, their mindset, they don't care about it. I mean, how many times we dealt with officials and we try to talk to them, you're dealing with the children of Israel, God's people. Oh, we don't care about your God. As if, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I thought this was a Christian nation. You don't care about our God. We no respect. I mean, y'all bend over backwards for the Muslims and the other nations, but when you talk about our God, it's like, all disrespect, huh? Okay. They have the mindset that we've been forsaken. Nothing's happened on our behalf that they've seen up to this point, so why would they think any different? And they haven't been properly taught who they're dealing with. Even Hitler knew who the United States was dealing with, because he had said, man, these guys are making a direct challenge to God by messing around with his precious jewels, speaking of the so-called Negroes here in America. That was Hitler's words. So he knew who God's people was when he was dealing with those guys that was over there in Germany and stuff. He says, you know what? I'll deal with these guys over here, but I will not touch them guys over there. Them guys are crazy for what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? That was basically the message. All right, so go ahead. Where we at? Isaiah, is that right?
Isaiah 62:10. Go through the gates. Prepare ye the way of thy people. Cast up the highway. Gather out of the stones. Lift up a standard for the people. Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. And thou shalt be called, sought out, a city not forsaken.
So he's telling you right here, Judges 2:1. These people are not forsaken. They act like we are. They got us thinking that we are, and a lot of that is popular in this world to say, Israel don't matter, but God's telling you all in the scriptures, believe on me as the scriptures have said, that his people's not forsaken. So, hey, they'll just kill people in the street, black people or so-called African-American in the street like it ain't no tomorrow, because who cares who the children of Israel is, because God done away with them. That's another thing coming, though, because the fear of the Most High will be upon this nation pretty soon here. All right, Judges 2:1.
This is going to become our name. This is what the world is going to know us as when the Most High puts his hand out, a city not forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go from everybody, the whole world thinking this whole time that the Most High was done with us, to a people that the whole world is going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Judges 2:1. And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Boshin and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you.
Read that last part again.
I will never break my covenant with you.
One more time, please.
I will never break my covenant with you.
The Most High. So a lot of people that's running around, back to Isaiah 54:4, a lot of people out there that keeps going out there saying that, the Most High got, brought in the Gentiles, or the Israelites, was done away with and all that other stuff. You're basically saying that the Most High's word is not true. Because the last time I checked, what does never mean to you?
Never.
Yeah, never. But any other words you can use to describe never? It's not going to happen, basically. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. And they gave you a sarcastic challenge in Jeremiah about the only condition that he is going to cast away his people. But no matter what is written in Scripture, we've sat down with people that's so prominent in the Scriptures, and we show them basic principles in Scripture, and they just look around like, well, let's go to this over here. Brothers, what happened in that Scripture when he's telling you that he's never going to break the covenant, and the only way he's going to cast away his people if you can measure the heavens in the depths of the sea. That's the only way he's going to cast away his people. That goes over your head. Then they start, the nature of God and his character and all that. What did he write in Scripture? You know what I'm saying? That's our people. Isaiah 54:4.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord is his name, and the Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, thy Redeemer. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken, and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou was refused, saith the Lord thy power. For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
For what?
For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
For a small moment he has forsaken us. So that's when we got scattered out. Remember, 1,000 years a day with us, 1,000 years to us is a day with the Most High. So to him, he just did it. Okay, all right, we scatter them for a few days, See that they like, you know, even though it seems like eternity right now, because it seems like this is something that's never ends. But he's telling you, I was just lost for a little while, right? Just to show you, despise not the chastising of the Lord. Go ahead.
But with great mercies will I gather thee.
So see, with great mercies, there's the mercy of the Most High that nobody want to talk about. They don't talk about God's mercy and everything else, but the mercy of gathering Israel back after being scattered and punished. Go ahead.
Isaiah 54:8. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee.
Just a little wrath he hid his face from his people.
For a moment.
For just a moment.
But with everlasting kindness.
But for that everlasting, that eternity kindness,
will I have mercy on thee.
Where he will have mercy on his people.
Saith the Lord thy Redeemer.
Saith the Lord. Oh, no. You get a pastor or somebody that's been learning up from the pastor, they'll say something different. And, oh, well, I'm going to just believe pastor because, you know, he's been in this truth for like 30, 40 years. Or elder or whoever, whatever title somebody's running with. Back to Maccabees 7:17. You know, he's telling you it was just a small moment of time where he did this to his people, and he will gather us back. Okay? So his people are not forsaken.
Maccabees.
Second Maccabees.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 17. But abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without a cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves. Having sinned against our God, therefore marvelous things are done unto us.
Go ahead.
But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape punishment unpunished.
Who? Proverbs, go to Proverbs 27:5. He's telling you, hey, we're going through this because our forefathers sinned. He's taking responsibility, right? This is why we're going through this. But don't think because you're doing this, you're going to get escaped unpunished. Still, let these people know what's going on. All right, let's go to Proverbs 27:5. What does that say?
Open rebuke is better than secret love.
Open rebuke is better than secret love. Luke 12:4. So these guys, while they're dying, while they're persecuted, stand up for loss, rebuking the very tormentors and persecutors, letting them know as they're killing them, hey, you're doing this to God's people, but just let you know, you're not going to escape what you're doing. Okay? So we got to be faithful unto death. We got to understand that we got to be bold. We got to speak boldly, stand boldly, and let them know, look them dead in their eye while they're doing what they're doing. Okay? And without fear. Okay? Your fear, the only one that deserves the fear from a man is the Most High. All right, Luke 12:4.
Luke chapter 12, verse 4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do.
So once they kill you, that's it. You're dead. That's it. You're just no longer there. They can't do nothing else.
But I will forewarn you, and ye shall fear. Fear him, which after he hath killed the power to cast it, which after he hath killed, hath power to cast into hell. Then I say unto you, fear him.
Yeah, that's where your fear should be. Back to Maccabees 7:20. Don't fear the one that can kill the body. Fear the one that can kill your body and cast you into hell. And I feel for you brothers out there that's running around and that don't believe in hell. You think this is hell, what we're dealing with right now? Because if you think about the weeping and gnashing of teeth, that's something that's continuously going nonstop. We get little moments of thrills and gladness and joys and all that stuff over here, even though this is a place that we don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of our people don't want to leave this place. They're going to cling on to this place for dear life. You know what I'm saying? Let alone people like some of us that's ready to go back home. We've done our sentence. We did our prison sentence out here. You know what I'm saying? We did it, and now it's time to go home. When Yasha decides its time. All right? Maccabees 7:20.
Maccabees chapter 7, verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all.
The mother was marvelous above all. This is the one that really gets me because, and we're going to let you not just read that.
But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. Memorial or memory? Memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with good courage, because of the hope that she had in the Lord.
There you go. So how many times, in this world, and this is especially for women, because women are strong in certain areas that men can't understand, but you dealing with their children, that takes things to another level. And she sat there, and she's taking this and watching her children, one by one, get killed by these people. Because, like they did during slavery, when they first brought us over here, boot stomped the baby in front of everybody, so everybody knew. Or when they hang one of our brothers and sisters, make sure everybody sees one of our people hanging from a tree. Or when they're whipping the slaves, they used to whip the slaves in front of everybody so all can see. That's that open rebuke. That's what they did in the scriptures. Open rebuke, because they take love. They want to make sure everybody can see what they're doing so you will fall right in line. And the mother saw it, knowing that mothers are very emotional and attached to their children. But you want to see how strong this woman's spirit is? Man. And I know a lot of men, including myself, that need some work in my spirit after reading this story. Okay? But go ahead.
Verse 21. Yeah, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courage, courageous spirits, and stirred up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it that I formed the members of every one of you.
Boom. Basically said, hey, you passed through my womb, but I had nothing to do with you getting there. I didn't form you. I didn't create you. I didn't make you have 2 arms, 2 legs, a nose, a mouth, and all that stuff. I didn't do none of that. So, this happening to you, hey, I really didn't produce you like that.
Verse 23. But doubtless the Creator of the world, who formed the generation of man, and found out the beginning of all things, we also of his own mercy gave you breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. This is a mom just speaking like, hey, I didn't form you, God the Creator did that. He's going to just, pretty much, bring you back because you're standing for the law, his law. You're dying for his laws, okay? This is a mother speaking. Just think about that. But go ahead. Let's go Matthew 5 and 10.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Read that again.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Now you seeing that this woman was being rejoicing while she was speaking about the honor that her sons brought to the laws of God. And it's even talking before her enemies. You know what? All right, yeah, they passed through my womb, or these people are not mine. They belong to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So rejoice, be exceedingly glad, because you are one of the ones that are a threat to this world, this spiritual world, evil world that's going to get taken down through the Spirit of the Most High. You're going to be a participator in that takedown. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
There you go. And we're reading about a few of these persecutions. Back to Maccabees 7 verse 24.
Maccabees 7:24. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, with the young, while the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man, if he would turn from the laws of his fathers. And that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs.
Wow. All right. Matthew 4 and 8. Now that's a good little relationship. I'm going to be friends with you who, one, killed all my brothers before me, and my friendship is based on me breaking the laws of God, and then we're going to be friends after that, because if I wouldn't have broke the laws of the Most High, you would have killed me. So we're going to be friends after that, after you put me up in riches. That's the mindset of these people. A lot of people will take that deal. But we'll see what kind of deal that, see what Yasha did when he was presented with that same kind of deal, even though Yasha wasn't facing death at this point. All right? Matthew 4 and 8.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up to an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and all the glory of them. And he saith unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
And all this eating of pork that we're reading about is all about worshiping the fallen one. If you're blatantly defiling the Most High's laws, you are actually worshiping the fallen one. Go ahead.
Then said Christ unto him, get thee hence, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
Just like Yasha. So Yasha, you know, back in Maccabees 7 and 25, you know the spirit of Yasha was moving in to these sons because they brought that spirit before Yasha even came. You know, Yasha just came through and did the same thing. You know, we're worshiping the Most High. So you do what you got to do, but, you know, get behind me, because it ain't going to happen. Go ahead.
Maccabees chapter 7, verse 25. But when the young men would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
All right, Matthew 16 and 25. So now they're going to bring the mother in, you know, to make trying to bring in the room full of uncontrollable emotion, get his emotions all out of control so he can make an unwise decision. Okay? But we're going to see what this mother did. But they're doing this for the sake of him to save his life. Mom, the last child, all your children that died, you know, go talk some sense into him so we can save his life. So you can save his life. If all you have to do is just bow down. So let's see what Yasha says to this.
Matthew 16, 24, 5. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose it, his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Boom. Back to Maccabees 7:26. There you go. The very same offer, Yasha just killed that right there with his words. Who's going to gain the whole world against his soul? Who's going to do that? You know, so this is a little offer he said, hey, Yasha told you basically how to respond, even though you're going to see how these guys responded to this. Okay? You want to say something? Okay. Go ahead, 7:26.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 26. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son.
Oh, I'm going to counsel my son. I'll definitely have a sit down. He's my last son. He's my very last son because you didn't kill everybody else. And now think about this. Now, most women at this point will be crying, hooping, and hollering, and yelling and screaming, my babies, my babies. No, oh, she came from my flesh, my body. Oh, my babies, I gave birth. I carried them for 9 months. This woman said, oh, okay, well, you want me to counsel with my son? I'll go counsel with my son. Let's see what kind of counsel she had with her son.
Verse 27. But she bound herself towards him, laughing, with cruel turn to scorn.
Remember? Be rejoiced and be exceedingly glad. That's what Yasha said. And look what this woman's doing. So she's already being obedient. So that spirit is real strong operating in this woman. All right? Start that over off, please.
But she bound herself towards him, laughing, the cruel tyrant, to scorn, speaking her country language of this matter. O my son, have pity upon me, that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look up upon the heavens and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that God made them of all things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
Boom! Oh my gosh. Matthew chapter 10 and 34. This is a mom talking to her son. Oh, by the way, yeah. So, just take your death and join your brothers. I'll counsel them, all right. Yeah, I'll definitely counsel them. Yeah, son, make sure you take your death with your brothers. Because God made the heavens and the earth and created it, so, hey, don't worry about none of this stuff. This is a mother doing this. This is the kind of spirit that we need to be in. This is how strong our spirit needs to be moving forward, because this is the stuff that's going down. Okay? Man, that gives me chills every time I read that, man, because I'm like, man, I got a ways to go. She's speaking the word. It's like she's like, no, nothing. Just, hey, son, take your bath. Be ready. They're coming for you. All right, you ready to go? You ready? All right, let's go. Matthew 10:34.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I have come not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. And he that findeth his life shall lose it. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Luke 17:32. I brought that out for the strength of, this is a woman, with the children, and she was definitely disregarding her children for the laws of the Most High, and for the sake of Yasha. Period. Just showing you, man, I'm gonna stand on these principles of the law. It's powerful, man. This is a woman doing this now. This is uncommon. She's the weaker vessel. She's just a portion of the man, right? A small portion at that. And she's standing bold for the Most High. He says, I can raise up rocks to bring me praises. There you go. Well, she's showing it right here. All right, Luke 17:32.
Luke chapter 17, verse 32. Remember Lot's wife.
All right, back to Maccabees 77 and 30. The reason why I brought that one, remember Lot's wife, because she was given a commandment, and she got turned into a pillar of salt because she looked back. She thought twice about what was going on. This woman here, what we're reading about, she didn't think twice. She was like, oh, you want me to give him counsel? I'll give him counsel. Yeah, brother, son, be ready to die. I didn't make you anyway. So be ready to die and join your brothers in honor. Lot's wife, she got a commandment not to look back, and her spirit was still in that place that was working evil before the sight of the Most High, just got delivered, and she's looking back wanting to be there and feeling for the people, the very people that the Most High was trying to destroy. So you're definitely not in harmony with the Most High if you're looking back after he told you not to. I mean, when he's going to look back when it comes to this, or be in this truth, knowing what we're required to do, but at that time, when it comes down, you're looking back and like, well, God don't really want us to suffer, does he? You know what I'm saying? Now, he's telling you, in the scriptures that this is what we got to do. This is reasonable service. All right? All right, Maccabees 7 and 30.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 30. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses.
Standing bold for the law, standing bold for the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 31. And thou, that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of God.
So none of these people that's doing this stuff is going to escape the hands of God. Their punishment may be delayed. It may be delayed, but however, it is not going unchecked. Trust me. Or trust the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 32. For we suffer because of our sins.
He's telling you, we're suffering this because of the sins of our forefathers. So I understand why I'm going through this. Go ahead.
And thou, the living Lord, be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction. Yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
Just what that sums up Isaiah 54, what we read earlier, just in one verse, the whole thing. But go ahead.
But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes. Lifted up thy hand against the servants of God. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty God, who seeth all things. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of God, shalt receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life to the laws of our fathers, beseeching God that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou, by torments and plagues, mayest confess that he alone is God, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease.
Leviticus 26 and 40. This is a man taking full-fledged responsibility for why we are in this condition. Remember, our ancient forefathers got us here, and this man is taking responsibility and bringing honor to the fall of our ancient forefathers. You know, by saying, you know what, because we sinned against the laws. You know, I'm just praying that this will show the Most High that we're coming back. We're going to die. We want to come back. You know, we're clinging back onto the Father for the laws that we just freely gave up. And this is why we're dealing with this, because we freely gave up the laws. Okay, so you want to give up the laws? This is what you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? This is what we've been dealing with, and this is what we're going to have to face moving forward. All right, so Leviticus 26 and 40. This is a representative of what we just read.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, and with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that they also have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them.
See, this guy just confessed. He confessed the iniquities of his forefathers and even his own personal iniquities. Go ahead.
And I brought them into the land of their enemies. If their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they accept of their punishment, of their iniquity.
Accept of their punishment. Now, does this man sound like he was accepting as a punishment? He's prophesied, warning the wicked, telling them their judgment as he's getting persecuted, and accepting why he's going through it all in one breath, basically. All right, go ahead.
Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, my covenant with Abraham. I will remember, and I will remember the land.
Deuteronomy 30 and 1. Man, this is just straight strength and power right here. You know what I'm saying? Being faithful unto death. Go ahead, Deuteronomy 30 and 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy power have driven thee.
Drop down to verse 5.
And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possess, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers.
Drop down to verse 7.
And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
All right, back to Maccabees 2 and 3. So I'm saying, vengeance is Lord. We don't have to worry about this. This is going to come back full circle. The rest of the nations are going to pay recompense of what they did. This is why these guys to stand bold and go through this torture and torments to the nations and know that the Most High is going to repay the favor. And these guys are not escaping the punishment because they know the curses are going to come upon the very ones that's got to do this to us. So we just got to be faithful through it. You know, they may be able to take our bodies, but man, they're in danger of their body being taken and their soul. Curses of Deuteronomy. So that's part of the covenant. You know, the ones that's persecuting us is going to deal with what we went through, or even worse for that matter. All right, finishing this up. Maccabees 7:39. Second Maccabees.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 39. Then the king began a rage, handed him worse than all the rest, but took it grievously, that he was mocked. So this man died undefiled, and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died.
Now, that was the beautiful thing that the mother died at the end of that, so none of the sons had to see their mother pass. Mother watched all her children go by the wayside, and then it was like it's finished. We all stood up for the Most High, because she didn't bend, the sons didn't bend, and they all brought forth that strength and that power of the Most High with their faithfulness unto death, so they can receive a crown of life. Go ahead. Let this be enough now, verse 42, to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures. There you go. The idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures. This is the mindset. This is the people, Revelations 14 and 12. This is the people that a lot of our people are entangled with, and the Bible tells us, trust not your enemy. And a lot of people are all in bed. It's like, oh, these people's changed, we're all the same. You keep there. Keep there in the van and see where that's going to get you. Because these people are going to come back with the same thing. No new thing under the sun. You know, God requires what's past. So this is happening once again. All right, last few scriptures. Revelations 14 and 12.
Revelations 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God in the faith of Christ.
Yeah, these are the ones that's going to make it in. All right, Revelations 22 and 14. You got to have both. You have to have the commandments and the testimony of Yasha. Can't go in, one without the other. The patience of the saints. Go ahead.
Revelations 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter into the gates into the city.
All right, last scripture, Matthew 5 and 10. He's just telling you, hey, Tom, this is what this family demonstrated, keeping the commandments of God in the face of their enemy. Okay.
Blessed are they which are persecuted, Matthew 5 and 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sakes, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
So blessed is those us that's possibly gonna get persecuted just for the righteousness' sake of the Most High. You're gonna be blessed if you be faithful unto death. So just know this is the things that, like I said, is growing up. In more ways than one, the mark of the beast is here. The RJ radio chip is here in the earth. You know, they're already doing little test runs and things like that. You know, the image of the image of the fallen one is in certain cities. So pretty soon they're gonna be making people bow before these images or whatever. And and then of course at some point, we'll see what they're gonna do with the Sabbath day law. So that said, to me that was a good story in the Maccabees, just to know. The Bible says, watch as well as pray. So when you see these kind of things kind of brewing up, or if they're trying to force you, and it doesn't necessarily got to be those things, but, they're constantly putting a choice before you. Sin against God, sin against God, sin against God. Just for the sake of it. So we just got to be willing to take it all the way to the grave, because this life is temporary and this kingdom is being destroyed. There's nothing to hold on to. There's no amount of riches that you have if this king wasn't going to fall to go against the Most High, let alone, and receive any kind of status or whatever with a fallen kingdom against your God. That makes no sense. But nevertheless, they're going to try, because that's the reprobate mind of the fallen one, because he's going to take the very one that was put in place to create and offer him the kingdoms of this earth, which makes no sense to me, but hey, that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? So you're no different. No servant is greater than the Lord. So with that being said, brother, you got anything? For all you guys that watch, praise the Most High. I hope you just got more of an understanding with what's still coming before us, and just stay prayed up, build up your spirit. You have these discussions with your loved ones, so make sure everybody is ready, prepared and ready to stand bold for the Most High during the worst of times. So with that being said, Kwam Yasha, Yasha, Mashiach, Chakamawath, Shabbat Shalom, blessed and peace in the family. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.